What a friggin' debacle. The Jets lose on Black Friday, 34-13. An ugly beatdown, and now we're here for Boy Green Daily the next morning. It's time for a quarterback change. Plus, we got to start looking at the future and some of these key decisions the Jets will be making this offseason. Let's get into it.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey, good morning, everybody. What's poppin'? My name is Paul Weston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you find your podcast. Just search out Boy Green Daily. We're here on a Saturday, very weird Boy Green Daily because we had the Black Friday game. Now we have like a mini break here for the players, the fans, as they get ready for their next week. So we're going to get into some interesting stuff. I've got the 2024 free agent list for the New York Jets. Their free agents, their players that are set to be free agents. And we'll have some of those conversations here as I go through them. Wherever you're watching live, feel free to jump in the comment section whether you believe they should stay or go. More on that here in just a second. So buckle your seatbelts for that conversation. Also, I think it's time for another quarterback change. I think when things aren't working, again, first off, I'm on board. We have Dakota in here. He says, literally fire everyone. And then Greg, in his Aaron Rodgers voice, bombs is what we have there. So I'm on board with firing everyone. So Joe Douglas, Robert Salah, Nathaniel Hackett, see ya. In terms of the incremental firings, like Nathaniel Hackett's top of my list, move on from that guy. So hopefully they do, or at the very least, change play callers, hopefully to Todd Downing, who's also in that room and he has offensive play calling experience. So hopefully they do that move. But in lieu of that, because Salah seemed to indicate that they will not be changing play callers and quote unquote, it's not under consideration. With that all being the case, the thing they can't control is getting Tim Boyle out of there. You know, I thought it'd be cool. Let him boil. You know, I was like, oh, baby. And Robert Salah apparently said to the Amazon Prime crew before the game, like, hey, maybe he's Kurt Warner. Yeah, maybe he is. Or maybe he isn't. So I like the positivity. I liked the optimism. Like, hey, maybe this guy who gets another whack at the pinata can be a little something. But Tim Boyle was terrible. So you got to move on. So we went through door number one, Zach Wilson, not good. Door number two, Tim Boyle, also not good. And then door number three, it's time for Trevor Siemian. He was the QB2 on Friday during Friday's game, so I imagine it's not going to take much to kind of inch him forward to QB1. But yeah, I cannot believe that Robert Salah said that about Tim Boyle. And then we saw the performance from Tim Boyle. Picks, just... I thought he would have a command of the offense. I thought we could go into Nathaniel Hackett's bag. Obviously, I have no idea what the hell that looks like because we haven't seen Hackett go into his bag much this year. But I thought, like, okay, maybe with an experienced guy like Tim Boyle, not experience in terms of NFL experience because he had appeared in 19 games. He's made 4 starts, but experience in the system. Apparently behind Salah, he's murmuring the plays. Bluebird, 22, Red Cobra. Like, he knows what's going on, but out of his league. He just can't go in. So I thought we were going to take some deep shots, get creative, some pony package, but no, we didn't see any of that garbaggio. So Tim Boyle, see ya, pal. Hasta luego. Bye-bye. Time to go to Trevor Siemian. We will see if the Jets end up doing that, but I believe that's the next call. Is Trevor Siemian suddenly going to fix all the Jets' problems? Probably not. But you know what? You got to try something new. Here's the thing. and I want to reiterate this. We had the live show yesterday. I'm willing to change head coach. I'm willing to change the GM. I'm willing to change the play card. What I'm not willing to change, unless he decides otherwise, is Aaron Rodgers. So I have, who said that? Charles says, Brian Costello said they will run it back with Rodgers next year, and I'm all about it. I don't want to get rid of Rodgers. I'm all board with Rodgers. What I'm not on board with is simply going with the cult following of, hey, we got to keep everything Rodgers style like Hackett and all these people. There has to be a level of accountability here for the New York Jets. So for me, what that means is I am willing to fire head coach. I am willing to fire general manager. I'm willing to fire offensive play caller. And if Rodgers isn't cool with that, then all right, there's the door, pal. Although he's under contract, so the only way he could leave is if he just retires. It's not like he's forcing his way to another team. So hopefully Rodgers can read the writing on the wall, see that the statistics are terrible and everything is terrible. Hopefully he could just read the room and say, okay, this Nathaniel Hackett offense is garbage. Okay. The production's been garbage, and we got to hold players accountable. And hopefully he's on board, which I assume he would be. You sell him this vision. And then, like I said, you include him in the conversation to pick all the next guys. And Charles, love it. Love the show, Paul. Watch you every day. Happy holidays. Same to you guys out there. I know this wasn't the beautiful happy holidays you guys were hoping for. I'm in the, you can see it over my, what is that? My right shoulder, the Esden Zone Mountain Cabin. I'm in the New Hampshire family home. So shout out to my wonderful parents. My mom made me some scrambled eggs this morning. Very nice. Shout out, Mom. You're out there. Always taking good care of me. Make sure I was all, fired up for this show today. So appreciate her. And appreciate all the moms and dads out there for all you guys for the holidays. So I'm here for another couple hours doing some Jets work. And then I got to continue on my family voyage of visiting a few people. Let's see. Why are we firing Salah? Good question, Wild Wave on YouTube. I had not been willing to fire Salah until yesterday. And what it is for me is basically, to your point, I think it's a couple of things. First off, the big reason why is the lack of discipline. That these penalties keep happening. Ultimately, that falls on coaching. We had the stupid Quentin Jefferson headbutt penalty, like these emotional penalties. Like, again, we talked about it yesterday on the live show. There used to be fear instilled to me at the lower levels of football. I did not play in the NFL, obviously. But the lower levels of football, there was the fear of God. If you make a mistake like that, I'm going to bench your ass. I'm going to get ripped into, like all kinds of things are happening. And I was afraid to do that for that punishment, number one. And number two, letting down my teammates and stuff. I didn't want to do something stupid and be on the tape the next day like, hey, Paul, look at this idiot. So for all those reasons, for whatever reason, Salah has not been able to crack the whip and rally the troops. That concerns me. Like, man, if he can't get these guys to clean up their crap and do their jobs, when will he ever be able to do that? So I think Salah is a really, players coach, and he doesn't rip players normally in front of the podium and things of that nature. We normally don't get that. But we had it yesterday against Alan Lazard. We'll have another video out on the channel breaking that down in case you missed it. We'll have a more compact video. Check out the YouTube video section here today, and that'll come. The Jets haven't won football games under Salah. They're an undisciplined monster. That's another reason. And it just doesn't seem like he could keep all his ducks in an order here. And then plus the Nathaniel Hackett situation, which is the guy he hired. He chose Nathaniel Hackett. They interviewed 30 guys or 20 guys or something, and he hand-selected Hackett, and maybe that led to Rodgers getting here. Yeah. But it also led to the worst offense in 50 years. Yeah. So, you got to balance those things. So the lack of discipline, the lack of winning, there's actually a lot of reasons why. Again, I loved him in the cycle. He was my number one head coaching candidate in the cycle. I loved Robert Salah. He was in my top 5 YouTube list I made a couple of years ago. And he was the only reason he was 5th on my list is because I thought it was a shoo-in. He was going to Detroit, Michigan guy. The Lions job was also open that year. I thought for sure that that's where he was going. So why get rid of Salah? And again, I only recently moved on that train yesterday. it's lack of discipline. It's lack of winning. All those reasons are why, in my opinion, that I'm willing to go there. And then Joe Douglas. I think I view Salah and Douglas in the same boat. If you fire one, you fire both. You don't. I don't think you fire Douglas and say, Salah, you pick your new GM, or vice versa. You fire Salah and say, hey, Joe, take another whack at head coach. No. If you're either going to retain this entire unit, and you can explain that with, hey, we want to keep the Rodgers train and give it a real run in 2024, fine. Or you blow it all up, and then you just put a TNT into this thing. I think those are the choices, because Douglas has also struggled to win himself. I think those are the reasons why. All right, we're at halftime now, so let's jump over to this. I'm going to throw it up on the big screen, and we'll go piece by piece through this, guys. I'm going to pull up all the free agents that are scheduled to be free agents for the Jets. This is from Spot Track, okay? We're going to throw this up on the big screen. We'll go piece by piece, and we'll walk through if these players on the screen are coming back to the Jets or are they leaving. And we'll go piece by piece through. The first name on the list, in no particular order, actually, I think it's based on their average salaries in 2023, highest to lowest. Carl Lawson, he gone. He ain't coming back. The Jets have Will McDonald. They have Bryce Huff, more on him in a little bit. Carl Lawson is over. Again, he was a guy I was super excited about. He's one that I was really excited about when they got him initially. I think he's a really talented player. Like him a lot. But unfortunately, the train's run out. I think he's gone. I think the Achilles injury, unfortunately, robbed him of what he possibly could be. Let's go next on the list. Dwayne Brown, offensive tackle. I think he's going to retire, quite frankly. The Jets activated him off IR. Salah said yesterday he could have only played in an emergency scenario. They wanted to give him another week. So he is in. I think he's gone. I think he's going to retire. So he's gone. That's one of your starting offensive tackles from the beginning of the season. So thanks, Dwayne, for all the memories, pal. But you are gonzo. Dalvin Cook. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Dalvin Cook has been as bad as his statistics have said. It looks like he's got a little bit more juice recently, but they don't give him enough touches. But I think he's gone. I think we tried this thing. It's Le'Veon Bell-ish, except you didn't give him like $52 million. I think he's gone, so to be honest with you. So our top three free agents are all gone. I think he's going to go in a different location. Jordan Whitehead, oh boy. Man, Jordan Whitehead has been, on one hand, he's had 4 picks. You're like, oh, okay, not bad. But there's been a lot of inconsistencies, particularly in the tackling standpoint. He actually struggled at his first year. His second year has been getting picks, which is phenomenal. But I think the Jets move on from him too, to be honest with you. So I think he is gone. Are we going to keep any of these guys? That's my question as we're going through this list, but that's neither here nor there. You got Chuck Clark. I think he's going to be gone too, to be honest. Maybe there's a chance to bring him back on a cheap deal because he wants to see the Jets thing through. But I think this is one of those ones where it just never happens. I believe when you bring him in, in the trade with the Baltimore Ravens for that 7th round pick, you thought you were going to get him for a whack of the pinata, and it never happened. So I actually think he's gone too. So, wow, we've gone through the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names on this list. All gone, so in my opinion. I do not think they're going to be back. Then we get to Bryce Huff. Of course, you've got to retain Bryce Huff. You got to bring this guy back. You just have to bring him back. So I think franchise tag is going to be on the table for Bryce Huff. All of it. I just think he's a really talented player. He's one of the best pass rushers on the team. And I think once the Jets make this investment, whether long-term deal or franchise tag, I think he's going to be back for the long term. And he will get all the reps moving forward as a key guy. So Bryce Huff, he's still incredibly young. He's still 25 years of age. Love this guy. And what a great homegrown story as a former undrafted free agent. I think he is back in the picture. Quentin Jefferson, now, he's a little bit wild, a little bit undisciplined. He gets into some scraps after plays. But, man, Quentin Jefferson, he's in the top 3 in sacks for the New York Jets this season. He's been a nice guy. He's been a very solid replacement, quite frankly, for Sheldon Rankins. I'd probably retain Quentin Jefferson if I could. Another 1-year deal, relatively cheap. He's a guy I would bring back with some depth on the interior defensive line. So he's been a nice surprise, and I think he's gotten a nice little pop with the other players on this roster. So Quinn, I'm open to bringing him back as well as Bryce Huff. Randall Cobb, your old ass is gone, pal. See you later, Cobby. See ya. Hasta luego. Grab your crap and pack your bags and see ya. He's been a fine veteran guy in the locker room and things of that. But Cobby, it's time to move on, pal. At 33 years of age, go somewhere else. He thought about retirement last offseason. I think it's time to consider it again. See you later, Randall Cobb. Goodbye. Greg Zuerlein, he's getting up there, about to be 36. He missed the extra point yesterday. That was a bummer, but he's been rock solid since the Jets have gotten him. Legatron, he's a guy I would retain. The Jets special teams unit has been really nice. So I'd bring back Zuerlein, to be honest with you. He's someone that I would like to see. So give me Z. Solomon Thomas, old Solly. He's been really solid this year. I'm going to have to double check what we have statistically. Let me see. What are the sacks here for old Solomon Thomas? Let me see what he's at this year. I need to double check these numbers. He's had a really solid year, man. Well, what's he at? So yeah, he's had 3 sacks this year. He's 4th on the team in sacks. Solomon has been very solid. He's not asked to be the number 3 overall pick that he used to be. So being a rotational guy and one of those guys the team really likes, yeah, give me more Solomon Thomas. I'm okay with that. Justin Hardy, we'll see. He's about to be 30 years of age. Obviously, he's currently on IR still from the special teams injury. I know the team loves him. I know he loves being here, but I think there's a chance they move on. There's definitely a chance. That's a pricey tag to play for a pricey tag to pay. Excuse me, for a special teamer. There's a chance he's gone. Al Woods, I think his career's over. He's going to be 37. He blew out his Achilles. He had also been another player that had been considering retirement. Unfortunately, I think this is the end of his career. I've really enjoyed him. He's one of my favorite guys from a interview media standpoint. He's a lot of fun. So I love Al Woods a lot as a person. And also he was a very good fit as a player. But I think his career is over, actually. Let's go through a couple more here. Connor McGovern, we'll see if he comes back. If he comes back on that price tag, I'd love him back as depth behind Joe Tippmann. They seem to have a really good relationship. I'm not sure if McGovern will be interested in that, but he's 30 years of age. It's dirt cheap money. He's got a lot of starting experience. I'd bring that guy back. It seemed like there wasn't a lot of league interest. He was a free agent all the way through April, and no one kicked the tires on him. So Connor McGovern would be a guy I'd want back as depth. I would not be mad at that one. Adrian Amos, he's another guy I think is gone. Another former Green Bay Packer. See you later. Billy Turner, LOL, get out. You're gone, Billy. See ya. Kenny Yeboah, the team likes. He's actually a restricted free agent. I think he's going to be a practice squad guy. The Jets really like him, a developmental piece. We'll see if there's ever going to be a path one of these years where he could get on the roster full time. But at this point, he will be back as a RFA on the 90-man roster. And then we'll see what happens next offseason. Thomas Morstead, bring back Timo. Bring back Morstead. I know he's getting up there. He's going to be 38 years of age. We love him here. He's been on my program several times. I love Thomas Morstead. Come on back, brother. We friggin' love you here. He's a stud. Sign him long-term. I want him to retire here. An amazing guy. I'd love to have him back here with the Jets. So bring back Zuerlein. Bring back Morstead if you can. Only a couple more names here, guys, and some of them are no names. Ashton Davis. I know not everyone's on the Ashton Davis train. And I'll tell you this, I was majorly on the Ashton Davis train when we drafted him, a former track star, athletic piece of clay. I really like Ashton Davis. So I would love to bring back Ashton Davis. He's a nice rotational safety, can play in that big nickel role, super athletic. Give me Ashton Davis back on the team. I hope he re-signs on one of those like 3 or 4 year deals as a key core special teams player. He's your punt protector as well. And just kind of your do-it-all man in case of injury. I love Ashton Davis. And then some of these other guys, Ifedi, he's gone. Javelin Guidry, he's gone. Bradley and I, who I like a lot, is going to be back. He's on an RFA deal, so he'll be back with the Jets. Javelin Guidry actually will probably be back based on his tag. He's an exclusive restricted free agent, so he'll be back for dirt cheap. But Ifedi's gone. Javelin's back, but he's a no-name, relatively speaking, to the greater picture. Bradley and I will be back as an RFA. And then Bryce Hall, I think ultimately he's probably gone. I would like him back as depth. It doesn't hurt to have a guy like that back, who also had, obviously, a couple of big moments here. But he's probably gone as well. And I saw someone say it earlier as we were in the middle of this, Paul talking offseason. Disgusting here in November. And I agree with you. It sucks. But we kind of have this special day of in-between day here on a Saturday where we have no game to preview. I'm not looking ahead to Falcons yet and things of that nature. But it is an interesting place to be. And because of where they're at, the Jets are 4-7. That means at a ceiling, if they won all the rest of their games, they would have 10 wins. If they, if they lose another one to the Falcons, then the best they could do is 9 wins. So we're in the territory of we're running out of time. We are running out of time for the New York Jets to be in there. And while Wave, you ask what free agents are out there for 2024. Maybe we could do that on the show tomorrow. We could check that out and talk about some NFL football. Maybe we can look around and see what free agents the Jets could potentially bring into the picture. We'll be talking about that. So good idea. We'll see if we could do that and bring that back to the pile. But wanted to look at what the Jets' decisions are ahead. And there's a couple of big ones. There's also one that was not on that list for whatever reason. Mekhi Becton also, by the way, is on that list. I don't know why he wasn't listed for the New York Jets. He will be an unrestricted free agent. He should have been on that list as well. That's another one that just popped up. Mekhi Becton had his 5th-year option decline, so he's a free agent. And I'm curious on that one because he's been rock solid all year up until this ankle injury had him out of this Dolphins game. He should be back next week, it looks like, from Salah. What do you do with him? Do you bring him back? Does he want to be back? Could he get money in free agency? The injury history will scare off a lot of teams. He's another big decision if I'm the New York Jets. I strongly consider bringing him back because, to be honest, can you do the offseason of 2006 where you get DeBrickshot Ferguson and Nick Mangold in the same draft? If you can't, you may want to bring Mekhi back because you're going to lose Dwayne. He's going to retire. If you lose Mekhi, you have to replace both starting tackles. That doesn't seem ideal. Again, you're probably going to have Lakin next year because of his contract restructure. Joe Tippmann at center. Right guard, is that Elijah Tucker? Does AVT bounce out to tackle? The Jets have been flirting with that. That kind of complicates a little bit of the picture there as well. So I'd strongly consider bringing Mekhi back, depending on how the money looks. Again, he was another one for whatever reason that was not on that spot track list, but he is a pending free agent for the New York Jets. So TBD on Mekhi Becton, but I'd bring him back for the right money. I absolutely would. And if he would be interested as well. The Jets are going to need a lot of pieces in this offseason. We're going to have a long-term quarterback, mid-round pick probably in that department. You like Breece Hall. Hopefully, as he gets some run in the future, you'll probably add another running back there. Offensive line, for obvious reasons, you need starter help and depth help. We'll see what happens there. And then a few of the pieces on defense, like Bryce Huff, you're going to have to figure out among them. But the Jets have a lot of choices. A lot of exodus, I imagine, will be happening from that perspective. Well, guys, thanks for joining us here. Happy holidays on A Boy Green Daily. I will be in another new location tomorrow. More family travels today, so I will be somewhere else, and I think it's the state of New Hampshire tomorrow. So I'm changing locations on you, but we should have A Boy Green Daily, and we'll try to do that suggestion by Wild Wave, where I look at the available free agents for 2024. We could start to early prognosticate before we officially turn the page to the Falcons coming up on Monday with Italy Jets. So we'll be doing all that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for Boy Green Daily. Make sure no matter where you're watching, you like the video, hit subscribe, and join the growing family here on the Boy Green channel. Again, our daily show is live every morning at 7:30. So we appreciate you. And also, like I said, make sure you guys check it out. We'll have an Alan Lazard video out in just a little bit here on YouTube about Salah calling out one of his players. He has never done that previously, and it looks like he's firmly in the doghouse. More going on there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, and we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.